G'day, guys. Welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. And today, you've read by the title, I've got some special guests all the way from Steelers Nation Germany. So let's bring them in. Here we have Jonas, mate. What's going on? How are you, mate? How are
How's it
you,
going, Mike? What's cracking?
mate? First of all, those towels are fantastic. Terrible towels. How many you
gotta
got?
love them. Like 11, but the next one is actually on order. So
It's like if you want to show someone a Steelers fan, you're like, look at that picture. You're a Steelers fan,
yeah,
right?
like
110%.
kind of.
So we got
I
Jonas.
got like my little mean Joe here. Like that's my guy, you know.
You're just as nuts as me and everyone else. But also we have two more guests, guys. Two more guests. We have Sascha Steele. What's going on, man? How are you,
Hi there, I'm doing fine.
mate? And you're insane too. How many jerseys do you have?
Oh, I haven't counted them. Maybe about 15, I guess.
It's insane. And also we have another guest as well, all the way from Germany. And thank you guys for coming on the podcast too. I just done a podcast on your YouTube channel and your Twitch as well. Sascha, welcome to the show. What's going on, mate? How are you?
Hi, fine, thank you. And you?
I'm pretty good. Let me try and move that window there. There you go, technology. So yeah, you guys are welcome to my domain now. I get to ask the questions. I'm really intrigued to find out why.
Do it!
Why are there Pittsburgh Steeler fans in Germany, right? You go like, why are they in Australia? But it's like you guys, I've seen your site. I've seen some of your videos. I think you guys are just as crazy as Yinzers, right? Would that be true?
Sure, and I mean, why are there fans anywhere? Because the Pittsburgh Steelers are the best sports franchise in the world, in my opinion.
They really are. And it's like I've had so much fun on your podcast literally like 5 minutes ago, right? So,
yeah.
But I want to find out your story, and I'm going to go around the room as best I can. But we'll start with, there's a funny story between, actually, we'll leave me and Jonas for a little bit. That's a funny story. We'll go with Sascha Steele. Okay. Why did you become a fan? Why did you become a fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Oh, that's the best story you will ever hear.
Maybe. The short one or the long one? I guess I'll take the short one.
Anyone you like.
I'm a fan of American football since the late 80s, early 90s, and it was very hard to get any information or even pictures of American football in Germany at that time. So we always have to relate on the American broadcast via radio or something like that, or you have to go to American base and watch football on TV there, but that wasn't always that easy. So I fell in love with the Steelers because first of all the color, and then of two people. It was Coach Bill Cowher, and then my man Rod Woodson. He was the player I liked the most. I thought football is the ultimate team sport, but Rod was one of the guys who could decide games single-handedly. So that was very different. And the first complete game I watched on TV, I was able to watch on TV, was Steelers against the Buffalo Bills. And at that time, the Bills were like the big horse in the room. They went to the AFC Championship 4 times in a row. And the Steelers were the under. Yeah, Bills. I love losing Super Bowls. Bills, yeah. And I kind of like the underdog. And so that started and grew. And yeah, today we are here with our own fan club in Germany. And we can watch any game on a live stream. That's much different than it was back in the 90s. So I love everything about it.
Yeah, it's amazing. So when you first became a fan, right, was there any other fans that you knew of, or do you think you were the only one in your like city or surrounding area?
It was just my family. I kind of infected my family because I was so passionate about it. And I try to soak up anything I could get about football in general or the Steelers. So my brother was a kind of counterpart. He fell in love with the Steelers too at that time. He is a big fan too, not as big like I would say I am, but yeah. I played kind of semi-pro football over here in the early 90s. So you got to know people who like football, who are fans of different teams. But I still was kind of the only one who liked the Steelers. Most of them liked the 49ers, the Dallas Cowboys, the Washington Redskins at that time.
Yeah, same here.
I
And then
felt like being the rebel.
yeah, and it's worked out, right? We have 6 of them. We have a great community. You guys are building something really special over there in Germany. And for yourself, Sascha, what is your, I guess, Pittsburgh Steelers story, and why did you start to follow? Because to me, it comes back to the colors, like Sascha Steeler here. Is it similar or something different?
It's not similar at all. I went to. I'm a Steelers fan since 2007. I went to Afghanistan with the German army, and I met some guys. I'm not sure if they were exactly from the Pittsburgh area, but they told me everything about American football, and they told me about the Pittsburgh Steelers and about that gunslinger called Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, right.
And ever since I fell in love with that team, bought my first jersey. I guess it was a Reebok. Yeah, since then, back then it was a Reebok jersey of Roethlisberger, and time it get easier to watch the games. 2010, I guess I watched the first whole season. 2008, the Super Bowl season. I watched the postseason and the Super Bowl, obviously. Yeah, and ever since it's a big love. I was 2015 and 18 in Pittsburgh, and 2016 I watched the Steelers in Miami.
Oh, you were in 16 as well.
Yeah.
That's what I was over there. I was there I was there for the Christmas game, and you were there in Miami. Did Steelers play in Miami? Did they in 16?
Right. It was a early November game, week 11 or 12 or something like that, I guess.
Yeah, right. That's cool. So your story comes from going to Afghanistan, that's something that is different to compare to the colors. You've chosen a good team as well, from Big Ben to, I know now we have, like, we need to get back to the playoffs and stuff like that. Jonas, what about yourself, mate? Why did you become a fan? Why did you buy 11 towels? Why you
I don't know where to put my money, No. No, actually, it was 2012, I guess. We had a student exchange, like in school, obviously, with Upper St. Clair High School, the Upper St. Clair Panthers, which is like the suburb of Pittsburgh. So the guys came over, and I didn't have any clue about American football. So
you had a bloke come out, like people come over from Pittsburgh. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Like our students, they went over there, obviously, and I was like super mad. My sister did go there, and I was like, I was like super jealous. Yeah. So I couldn't go, but then the people came over, and I was like, I need to learn everything about the game, because these guys were crazy going about football. So yeah, my first football game actually was, I guess, the Super Bowl between the Giants and the Patriots, like in 2012. Yeah,
the one with the helmet catch. That one, or the other one?
No, the second win for Manning. Yeah. So I didn't get a clue. Yeah. So I didn't have any opinion about this game, and I was like, "That's like super boring."
Yeah.
But then the guys came over, and they just introduced me to everything. They taught me like about all these players, and like I was like back in the days, I was just wondering what a Nickelback is. I just knew the band. So.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
See, and from there on, I mean, like a couple of friends, we just started playing American football here in Germany back then. So it's how I got into it, and I mean, the Steelers were obvious choice, and from there on, it's history, and now I'm with this great Steelers Nation Germany here, and people always like to buy towels and order some merch. So obviously you can tell, like, I'm always good for one.
It looks
one
like your body's
towels.
selling them from your house, doesn't it? It looks like you got them on display. You're selling them for the top one, $11.99 up there, top right. The pink one there for maybe $15. That's what it feels like. You're a merchant right now.
Well, I guess I got to move soon, like to a bigger apartment.
But you know what's kind of crazy? Because I actually know Jonas, or we know a person that is similar.
We don't know each other, actually.
No, but like I know someone who. Wait a minute. You went to Byron Bay. Here's the story. You went to Byron Bay.
I've
you
been to
met a bloke
Australia like for 1.5
in
years. so-
2015, right? I think it was.
Yeah, 2014 to 2016, like
Yeah.
somewhere there. Yeah.
And you met a bloke named
Alvin.
Alvin, who's a Denver Broncos fan. So you know him from
Not the
2015.
chipmunk, obviously.
No, good guy, right? Great guy.
He's a great guy. Yeah.
He's so. I've never met someone so nice. Like he's such a nice bloke, right?
I mean, he's Canadian. He's Canadian. Every Canadian is just nice.
That's true. Right? The funny
I
thing is,
love those guys.
you met him in 2015, right? I went to Canada in 2016. I actually met the same bloke that you met, and I was like, I can't believe because he messaged me was it last month. That's how we got back in contact. And Alvin said, I know a bloke named Jonas. I'm pretty sure I texted you like 2 years ago on Facebook, and we're both busy and whatnot. I was like, there's no way. So then you knew that bloke. We both know the same guy, and I'm like, this can't be real. But this is how close the NFL community is.
He visited me over here in Cologne for just one day. He was on his European travel, whatever, and he's like, "Hey, Jonas, how the Steelers doing? Like, how's that thing going on here? You know that Mark from Steelers Nation Australia." And I was like, "Yeah, but no," like loosely. So he's like, "Oh yeah, I met him in Canada and this and that," and I was like, "That's crazy." He was like, I gotta hook you up. So here we are right now talking to each other.
I legit like walked into the mail room to do whatever I was doing, get mail, what I was trying to look at a board or something. And I think I saw Alvin then. I started talking to him. I don't know if he wasn't wearing a Denver Broncos thing or not. Got talking to him. I think I was wearing steel or something. I found out he's Denver. I was like, oh, Denver, and I found out his story. And then, yeah, he's just a good bloke. And then it's just a funny story that you knew him. He's your mate. He's a mate of mine too. I haven't seen him for a long time, but like I hung out with him in Canada. Great guy. I wish he was a Steelers guy though. Yeah. Let's be real, man.
See, he was one of my roommates actually.
Really?
Like in Byron Bay in the hostel. Yes, and he actually I took over his job at the hostel because he started moving, and always when we came to the kitchen and prepping the food, he was like, "John, how's the fantasy football going?" Yeah. So he actually set me up with all the things you got to do at fantasy football. And he was like, "Oh no, you got to bench him. He start him. You got to get matched up." And I was like, "That's how I just started." And actually, he got that basketball background, so he was like still telling me everything about the Broncos, and I was like, "Come on, you got to be the black and gold."
Well, you know what? This will be a better show if I planned it a lot better. I said, "This is your life, Jonas. Here's Alvin now. He's coming. I would bring him to the podcast." I actually couldn't do that though. But that would have been fantastic. No, he's a good bloke, great guy. But let's get back to talking some more Steeler stuff. I'll start with Sascha in the bottom right. What did you know? What did you know about the game when you first started? Like, did it take very long to learn the game?
Yeah, it did. But Madden helped actually. It is, you get in contact with the sport, you watch the games, and you think, okay, why he threw that flag right now? I'm not sure. Actually, I have to watch it. I have to Google it maybe or something like that. And then I started playing Madden, and I got help from a guy from America who told me everything about nickel formation, about 3 deep, and the whole thing. So I didn't know anything about the sport, but I got attracted to it because I love the physicality and the speed right away.
Yep.
And that was the whole thing why I fell in love with that game and why I love the Steelers. Because of Ben Roethlisberger, the guy could have been hurt really, really bad. He could have played with his head under his arm, and that's what made me fall in love with the team and with that quarterback.
It takes time too, because I'm the same. I started playing Madden. Like I said on your podcast, I played when I was with my brothers, and the movies came involved in the 2000s. But to learn the game, I actually think Madden is Madden to me now. Madden sucks. I can't play it. It's such an awful game now. It really sucks, man.
Agree on that.
Like, dude, it is one of the worst games I've ever played in my life. It hasn't changed in I think 7 years. It's just the same thing. And we continue to buy it. It's all about the money now. But I really got into it was around 2004 when it was Michael Vick on the cover. And it was just a really good game. And it teaches you cover 3. It teaches you the press coverage. It teaches you that you're going to have a 3-4 defense. It teaches you how to teach you what comes around the outside and all these kind of things. Madden, I think, is a big key for a lot of international fans too. Were you the same? Were you the same, Jonas, as well with the Madden stuff?
Well, at the beginning, I actually I was downloading Madden because I was like, okay, let's see what this is about. I like to play like NBA 2K and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, let's see what this game is about. And I was like playing one drive, and I was like, I don't get a clue about the game, so I deleted it like straight away.
Really? Oh wow!
yeah. It was awful. But I gotta learn the game then, and like my first real game that I understood was like the NFC Championship game between the 49ers and the Falcons back then in 13, when the Ravens won the Super Bowl. So that was like
the hard bowl.
Yeah. It took me like 1 year to learn the game. I watched like a couple of the Steelers games with like that little knowledge I got. So but later when I started playing as well, I also used Madden for like showcasing what the play concept is about. So I had this rookie quarterback that I tried to teach like about some schemes and play styles, and I was like, okay, so this is how the offense should work. This is how the routes should interact, and this is what you do against cover 1, cover 2, cover 3, whatever, zone and man. It's just so easy, like to because people you don't like on the training field. You can just like not look everywhere, but on the screen you can just see what's going on, and you can just repeat it on and on and on. So it's just so great to learn the game actually, and that's why I tell all of my plays, because I'm also a coach for the juniors, and I'm always like, hey, do
they yell out fire Jonas like they do with Coach Thompson? Hey, you getting in trouble for that?
Yeah,
he's the German Matt Canada.
Yeah. No, I actually I tell them like to play Madden because they're always on their PlayStation. So just play Madden and learn the game. And actually, funny story. You think I'm the Matt Canada, but like last year we had this big watch party going on for week 1, and I still had to coach the boys to like for their first win. And
400 yards rushing. 400 yards rushing.
Was it really?
Stay there. I was like, crazy. I have to get to another city at this and that time, and I was like running short on my time, and I was like, okay, I only played a run game.
Oh, to do the clock.
And yet I was just running out the clock because I was like, I haven't had the day. I haven't had the.
Hang on. Wait. Did your team know your strategy, what you were doing because you had to go somewhere? Did they know that?
No,
only you knew that. Only you knew that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Did it work or not work?
It did work. We scored the first win back then. It was like the last game, and we got the first win. It was great, and like we were doing so great. Like I took my second center, like the second string center, and I put him in the backfield. I was like, give me some yards. Just take the rock, give me some yards. And we got to run out the clock. Just give me a first down, whatever.
You didn't pass. You didn't pass at all during the game.
I did, but it was like, meh. So
that sounds like the Army or Navy offense. They normally do it in college. They normally run that, don't they? They run the 3 running back stuff like that. You know.
To be fair, it was like an under 13 game, so the boys were like 10 to 13. So. They still struggle with catching the ball and like throwing it properly. So most of the times it's actually incomplete or intercepted. So I was like, okay, just take the rock and freaking score. Yeah.
But you know what though?
H-back dive was like the best play you could actually go for on fourth down.
That's simple football. That's the way football was played for 40, 50 years, right? You know, back in the day. So it's now a passing league, stuff like that. But you went back to fundamentals and said, run the football, hat in a hat, move your guy in front of you, get 5 yards, go again. And you run the ball 55 times and you get the rushing yards up there. So
I lost my quarterback in that game. Like on the first drive, he got injured. So
come on.
They scored a safety on us and injured my quarterback. And I was like putting a rookie wide receiver in, and I was like, okay, just run the ball, just freaking run the ball, hand it off, go anywhere. I gotta go. So
I gotta go drink some beer. I
didn't tell the boys, but But I was
That's
actually,
funny, man.
I was actually just the interim's head coach because I was just the offensive coordinator, and I was like, okay, like the head coach is on holidays, let's freaking.
What was the score? What score you win by?
I guess it was like 30 something to 24.
Right, and it's all
Something
rush,
like this.
all-
Yeah, just
it works, man. It works.
run and shoot, I guess.
But I kind of want to see that this year with the Steelers. I want to see more running than I do passing, and I want to see Kenny Pickett, pass 20, 25, passes a game. I'm going to change it a little bit here. I want to find out your favorite Steelers and why. And I'm going to start with Sascha Steele, bottom left. Well, who is your favorite Steeler of all time? Like all time?
Obviously, it's Rod Woodson.
Yep.
He grew into a kind of idol for me because I played the game myself, and I wore jersey number 26 because of him. And later at the time, when I went over to Pittsburgh, was the lucky guy. I actually was introduced to him. I met him. I was invited by his family to stay
Wow.
there during my trip and stuff
Wow.
like that. So so many things happened around that person, Rod Woodson, for me privately. I can't choose another guy.
When you were playing, you didn't do what Jonas did, right? You didn't rush football every single time. It was a more balanced offense when you were playing.
No,
Or was it?
yeah, I was just a player. I wasn't a coach back then, so
Yeah.
I just had to do what my coach told me. And he was a army instructor, our head
Okay.
coach. So that wasn't kind of easy, but
Yeah.
it was a good time. Yeah.
Actually, in his days, passing wasn't allowed. So
Really?
we always make fun of that. So
Fullback dive, halfback dive.
Like you said, it was like that back then. I mean, the Steelers had Barry Foster and guys
Yep.
like that, and they just ran the ball to control the clock, and they just did pass when they had to. So that was a way different game than it's nowadays. So, but it was fun too. It was different, but it still was fun. Yeah.
Well, I hope they bring it back because even like the late great Franco Harris and Rocky Bleier, those two blokes, you didn't know who was going to get the ball, and they ran, their way to victory, and that was really fun to watch. Even though I wasn't live back then, but the highlights is fun. I hope they can bring that back with some Najee Harris and Warren. I know it's a quarterback-driven league right now, but if you can hold time of possession, run the rock, build up the offensive line, and go down the field, I think you've got a good chance to do something special. Sascha, who's like one of your favorites, or your favorite Steeler of all time? The guy that you just, you want to meet, shake his hand in person.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, that's it. You might be on his podcast.
Excuse me?
You could be on his podcast. You just give him an email.
I don't think so. I think Spence and Ben are focused on getting guys like Tomlin or TJ, not Sascha from Germany.
They were good ones, weren't they? That was some good podcasts, though.
Yeah. Definitely, definitely. Yeah. But you mentioned you mentioned Rocky Bleier. We met Rocky. Sascha and I met Rocky 2018 in his office.
Yeah.
He took 1.5 hours time. Yeah.
Wow.
We get. Maybe I can show you.
Is he? He seems like a good bloke. Is he a nice guy?
He is that's the book, and he.
Oh, okay.
Is there? Just wait. And he signed it for us.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. That was really, really, really good, and
in his
meeting,
story, it's unbelievable as well. He went to Vietnam. He got the grenade went off, and his leg got almost blown up and stuff like that, and came back and then he came back to Pittsburgh, and then he's the running back next to Franco. And Franco's I never met the guy, but we all know he's an amazing human and really touched our hearts when he passed away. How was it meeting Rocky Bleier? How was that connection?
Obviously, it was very easy because my military background and his military background. We talked a little bit about that, but Sascha organized it. So kudos to him. He's such a nice guy, sitting there talking to two guys from Germany he's never met, but giving so much insights and sharing history with us. That was just a once in a lifetime experience. And I mean that, but with every word.
I have to say, Rocky Bleier is one of the best storytellers I ever met. You can sit there and listen to him for hours and don't say a word yourself. Have you ever seen that theater show he does? It's called The Play, where he tells his story
No.
on stage. It's very cool, and sometimes he performs it in Pittsburgh. You have to watch this one. He's one of the best storytellers ever.
I used to see his stuff on Facebook. He had like a one man, one word from Rocky Bleier or something
Yeah.
like that. He had a minute or 2 minute weekly episode after the Steelers, and that was kind of like
One man's opinion.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah. But I haven't seen anything else besides that. But I always get that because one of my guys that I like in the old school guys and the great Steelers was Tunch. Like, Tunch Ilkin. I had a really good connection with him, and it's kind of funny. It wasn't really, never met him in person, but when I used to press that Steelers Nation radio, when he came on and Wolf came on, that connection, I think that's one of the best duos I think the Steelers have had with the way they talk to each other, like mates, and you just sat back and you were chilling out in your room playing a game or whatnot, or you're washing dishes or whatnot, or washing the car or driving the car. And when you could listen to them just go nod, nod, nod. I used to love the way he would talk about the Steelers and their connection. So I would imagine, and Franco Harris too, like those and even the late great now Stan Savran who's passed away just recently. Like those blokes, I think, are just some of the best guys I think in Steeler Nation that we've had as international fans that we can't see everything on TV. So we push the radio button and we hear these voices, man. So I couldn't imagine that would have been a great day to like.
You have to throw in Marin Cope as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's it.
Back in the time when I started to follow the Steelers, I wasn't able to get TV pictures or anything. So I was relying on that radio feed I had, and that's a way different way to grow into the sport when you hear the radio feed and watching on TV. So you get used to these voices, and it was kind of when you switched in and hear those guys, you like went into another world for yourself, and then that was really great. I mean, I'm happy it was like it was that time, and I was able to get that radio feed. But nowadays it's much more convenient to watch TV.
Oh, 100%, 100%, yeah. Even though we watch at different times too, because you guys watch, I think the nighttime games for your 8 p.m. is like your 2 a.m., right? Something like that, right? So, but it would have been, learning the game like that if you had the radio and you see Myron Cope. It's just that Pittsburgh Yinzer voice is just something special. So I think those legends will always live on. I think it's fantastic you guys met Rocky Bleier. I think that's crazy, man. Has anyone else met any other Steelers? Jonas, you met any other Steelers or anything like that? Any players?
I never met any in person. Maybe I ran into Anthony Chickillo last year, like in the bar.
Chickillo.
I mean, he was. I think he was on the Bucks roster for a while, I guess. So he, like, when I went to Pittsburgh, it was obviously Steelers playing the Bucks, and he was just running into me in the pub, and I was like, well, let him do his thing. I mean, right. I didn't want to interrupt him. So, but other than that, no, not really.
What a not a strange deal, but what an odd occurrence to meet Anthony Chickillo. They used to be the backup, and there was one big play. He made a big play. I think got a touchdown. I think in 2018. I think it was something like that.
I think it was like a block punt, I guess, and he picked it up. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. That's crazy. I don't think I've met like. I've been to Super Bowl 50, 51, one of the oldest ones, and I knew you guys were going to say this because I brought up the Ravens on your podcast, but I actually stood next to Ray Lewis, and he was a big fella, and I reckon because how much they hate us and we hate them, right? He nudged me on purpose when I was in like a studio because I said I want to be on TV, so the lady went and got me, and me and my mate were like, "Hey, come on TV." So we were the guys standing next to the screen when they go up and choose the Super Bowl 51, like who was going to win. And we all know the Falcons should have won, but they stuffed up. Unbelievable. But I had Ray Lewis next to me, and my mate's like, "Oh, get a picture of Ray." And I'm like, "I don't want to get a picture of Ray. He's a Raven. Why would I? I don't care about the celebrity sometimes. Like he's probably whatever." But after near me, he went like this, and I went, "Oh God," But it's so cool that you guys have like your fandom. I can already see right now with all the Steelers stuff, your fandom's so high. You know what I mean? There must be like guys in your city must think you're crazy. when you walk around, is there any fans that go, "Who are you?" I'll start with you, Sascha Steele. Any fans out there go, "Who are the Steelers?"
No, no, not really, because most of the people on the street, they don't know what I'm wearing. So sometimes they get confused because we have a local ice hockey team called the Steelers. So they sometimes somebody's shouting something about that hockey team who is quite bad. But yeah, different color, different team.
So it's pretty recognizable then, because for me in Australia, people are like, no idea who they are, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's more recognizable over there. I guess you guys have probably a richer connection with America and that kind of stuff in the sport. So, but here in Australia, if I wear a shirt or if I see someone wear a Steelers shirt, I can be very careful because some of them have no idea. Some guys I've met, like they understand who they are. But I asked a bloke once in a pub, I was like, "Hey mate, how good's Troy Palama wearing 43?" And he went, "Who?" And I went, "Oh." I didn't even. What do you say? I didn't even know who it was.
I guess in Germany, people will know the Steelers. Maybe they know the logo and the team, but they're not too much into it. I had this one bloke in the bar during holiday. I was just wearing my Steelers hat as I'm right now, and he's like, "Well, you're not a Steelers fan." And I was like, "Why is that?" He's like, "Well, you're just wearing the hat, do you?" And I was like that was like, oh, I don't know the year, like 2014, something like this. And I was like, ask me any question about the Steelers roster or whatever. And he's like, who's the third string quarterback? And I was like, that's Landry Jones. I got to tell you all of the 53 players. And he stop. So yeah, people are actually like, they just think you're just like, maybe if you're not wearing the jersey, but we're just wearing the hat, they're like, well, it's just like a Yankees hat. Yeah, or Raiders hat, for example.
Mate, we have so many Raiders fans here that wouldn't even know who John Madden was or Al Davis was.
Yes.
They just wear it because it's cool. I don't know about you guys over there. Do you have the Raider Nation that's like a fake Raider Nation over there? They just wear it because it's cool or not? Because the Ice Cube guys, they started that kind of thing. In Australia, it's like a lad mentality. They wear the hat, they have the jersey or the jumper, and they wouldn't even know where Las Vegas was or Oakland or the fact they moved back and forth to LA. They have no idea. Whatsoever. But you know what, guys? Let's get involved for about next 10 minutes, and then we'll start to wrap it up. Let's get some Steelers talk. Let's get some actual Steelers talk. Sascha, bottom right, what do you think is going to be the biggest challenge? I think this is a big question. Biggest challenge for the Steelers this year in 2023?
To overcome Matt Canada. We talked about that earlier. I think he was a good college coordinator, but in the NFL, something is a bit different, and just dialing up motion, jet sweep isn't enough to win games. He was lucky enough to win 9 last year, but I'm not sure if it's because of him or not because of him. You know what I mean? So I think the obstacle is to get a good run game, to get help for Kenny, that he's not throwing the ball 40, 50 times a game. And defense will be good. Let's be honest. The key pieces are there. Cam Hayward, Minka, TJ, Highsmith. We have to look what on ILB is happening, because it's a new core there. Mm-hmm. But I guess the biggest question is the offensive side and how Canada is calling the game.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good statement. Sascha Steele, what about who do you think out of the draftees will have the most impact this draft? It was a pretty big draft. Everyone was really happy with Omar Khan being the Khan artist. What player do you think is going to have the most impact in 2023?
But what I would say, I hope it would be the cornerbacks with Troy Porter Jr. and Corey Trice, of course. Mm-hmm. Don't forget my Trice. But I have to say, the tight end we got, Washington, I'm really curious about him and how he would help in the running game, especially because he's such a mountain of human being. I hope they can utilize him in a good way. And yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, because this was like, I think the draft was a little bit different to what Colbert would normally do. And it was like, well, there was so much talk about getting JPJ at number 1. Then he fell to 2. Thanks, Claypool, for what you did for the trade. And then we had they moved up to get Broderick Jones too. I still think Dan Moore is going to start. I will feed you this one, Jonas, because I think we talked about this before. Do you think that Dan Moore starts in week 1? This is another hot topic that is going to go around Steeler Nation during preseason.
I guess so. I mean, we got Broderick Jones. It will be a battle in the training camp, but I guess the Steelers are known for not throwing out their early draftees too like the first rounders too early. So maybe he will sit for like 4, 5, 6 weeks maybe. I mean, for me, it's Dan Moore's job to lose. So if he puts the effort in, he can just stay there. I mean, the right tackle spot is also kind of available. So, for me, it's Dan Moore Jr., but I guess it's Broderick Jones taking over like during the season. But I gotta big kudos to Dan Moore for his mindset that he's like, I do whatever. I got to take snaps at right tackle, maybe punter. I don't care. yeah. So just do whatever it needs to stay on the team, and I guess that's a great mindset for at least going into training camp, and then we'll see what's happening.
He's really buying in too. I'm going to give you guys for the next 5 minutes and some hot takes that I read through the Steelers rumors, which sometimes I can't handle. Sascha, what about trading Highsmith? Are you a fan of that?
No, not at all.
Why do you think this is a rumor going around? Is it we just in the off season where we are talking about this kind of stuff? Because
maybe it's because cap wise, because they think he wants too much money. But no, I don't think he's a good counterpart to TJ. You know, those two are a blueprint of outside linebackers for the Steelers. So I don't want him to go anywhere. I want him to stay. I want him to wear black and gold till he finishes his career. And that's the same what I think about TJ. So these two guys are monsters on their position. Yeah, they capitalize on each one. So yeah, I want to that they stay as a pair till they finish their career.
And that is the right answer, because it is so comical to say, why would you go and trade one of your best players? You work the cap out, you make it a friendly deal for both sides. You say, Highsmith, are you okay with this? Yes. We're okay with this? Yes. Okay. Then you have TJ Watt and Highsmith. And also, Highsmith should learn from other players. When you leave Pittsburgh, we know what happens to other players. AB goes crazy, Bell goes missing, Bud Dupree, you'd never see him again, right? The only one did quite well, I think, in the recent times, this kind of stuff, was James Conner. Did okay with the Cardinals, but that was only him. That team is terrible. I don't know how they're going to win 4 games this year. So I see trade Highsmith, and I'm like, why? Why would you trade one of your best players to get back picks for future years? No, you keep Highsmith, you make a good deal, and then when TJ Watt retires, you have Highsmith. You get someone else comes up, you know. So I think it's kind of crazy. Sascha Steele, what about another hot take? And this one's more or less on the cornerbacks. What about trading away? Because another one I've heard is trading away Levi Wallace. What do you think about that?
I'm not a fan of that, because we got better on cornerback this year, I think, and we had a good draft with Troy Porter Jr. and Corey Trice, but you still need those veterans in the room. Troy Porter has to prove himself first, and you can't just throw away your veterans. I mean, you have JP, you have Peterson, who is a good mentor in the cornerback room, I guess, but yeah, he's not a top outside corner anymore. I would say so. I wouldn't trade Wallace, even though he's not the best, but well, he's a good dude, and I liked him so far.
I'm the same. Oh, you go.
I guess if I can jump on this, the thing is, what's the value for him? You know?
Yeah.
So will be some late round pick for the next draft, maybe, I don't know. And I just want to stick with him. I guess he's a good guy. I liked him in his Buffalo days, and so we always need that next man up. There will be somebody injured or whatever. I hope not, but it will happen. It can happen, and just see. We have this young cornerback room, and they got to learn. They got to come to the NFL and see what the game is about.
I mean, he's solid, right? He's solid. Maybe he's not a Darrelle Revis type of guy, but he's a solid cornerback. So why trade him away? You don't know what you get from JP. You don't know what you get from Cody or Corey. I'm not Corey Trice. So keep him. He's not that expensive. $4 million a year, I guess, is the contract right about now. So just keep him and wait and see what the rest of the cornerback room does on the field.
Yep.
I just feel like, though, when the Yinzers and the Pittsburgh and some of the fans, when they see players be successful, they always just want to either trade him or something. I'm like, why not try and keep him on the side to be successful? But they want to get something back for future things. I just find it really comical. All right, guys, let's do one more question around the room, and then we'll call it a day and make it about a 44-minute podcast or whatnot. I didn't even bring this guy up. Oh, I forgot. How do I say
that's a question for Jonas, I think.
How do I say that, Jonas, mate?
Things about cunts.
Oops. Can you say? I can't live in 42 minutes. I should have went to 46 minutes, actually. He's one of my favorites.
He's a great cunt.
It's fun to say, isn't it?
Right. It is.
Okay. It is, actually.
There's actually this kicker for the Jets back in the days. Maybe Sam Ficken, which is actually we can't translate this here, but it's his name.
It's an actual German word, Ficken.
It is a German word.
It's a German word for making love.
Bad for you guys. Oh, really? So you guys have it through the other way.
Yeah. Just for, whoever is wondering, just type it in. We can't translate this here, but people running
the same thing for me in Australia with Kunz, and I can.
They're Jets fans who wearing the kicker jersey. It was really popular, like at least in Germany.
There was a quarterback called Dick Shiner on the Steelers, like back in the day. There's a kicker now called Dicky the Kicker. Right? I'm telling you right now, if Boswell ever gets cut, we need to go sign Dicky the Kicker and Christian Kunz to long snap the ball, because that is a combo. I think that you know where I'm going with this. That combo is it makes life. That's a life combo right there.
Hilarious.
All right. Okay, so who is one player, and I'll go from Jonas, Sascha Steele, and Sascha. Jonas, who's one player you want to watch the most in 2023? Who's your guy you can't wait to see?
That's difficult. That's really difficult.
It's hard.
I guess I got to stick with my last year's draft crush, DeMarvin Leal.
True.
I want to see some good rotation at the D line, and I want to see him doing the starting spot. So, like last year, he was actually my interior D liner number 1. So I'm really high on him, and I hope he can fit into the fit the scheme. I'm not too sure actually on this, but I just have high hopes for him, and we need that pressure up front.
He got bigger too in the offseason. I saw him working out at the training camp. He looks like a guy that's pretty switched on, ready to go. I agree with that. I think Leal is going to be something.
Yeah, I mean, Cam Hayward won't be forever, so we got to see what's happening.
Yeah, I know that's a good pick, because I think people are forgetting about a guy like Leal, and also the D line right now is going to probably be a 5 to 6 man rotation, depending how they do it, right? With Fehoko, if Armand Watts makes and those kind of dudes there, and you have Ogunjobi and Leal too. So those blokes is a good one. What about yourself, Sascha Steele? What about who's your favorite player you can't wait to see on game day? Only one.
Only one.
It's hard.
Can't say Rod Woodson.
Yeah.
It's always
he might come back.
Just when I watch a game, because of the things he can do, I would say George Pickens.
True. It's a good answer. It's a very good answer. I think he's going to have a big year in year 2. And to finish the show, Sascha, who's your one bloke, one player you can't wait to see on offense or defense?
I just wanted to go with George Pickens, but now I have to change, because I guess we need 3 different guys, and I go with TJ. I want to see him fully healthy, 17 games, wrapping it up, getting a new sack record, 22 and a half.
Bold
plus
prediction.
1.
Yeah.
Bold prediction. He will get a new franchise all-time sack record in week 1.
Can I do a bold prediction on a bold prediction? Cameron Hayward breaks it first, then he's going to break the record.
That would be awesome. That
would be really awesome. Yeah.
Cameron Hayward's 2 away, and he's 3 away. People call me crazy for that, but I think it's going to happen, to be honest. All right, fellas, that's it. By the way, I just saw the private chat. I didn't know that was there, so my bad. Thank you, Jonas. Thank you, Sascha Steele. Thank you, Sascha, for you guys coming from all the way from Steelers Nation, Germany. It was fantastic. I'll have to do it again in the future. But man, I think we're on a big hype train this year. I think for the Steelers, I think we're going to get back to some winning ways. AFC North is part of it. You guys are going over there in a week. I think you said Titans and Jags, that kind of style.
Right.
You're gonna rep the black and gold. You're gonna rep Germany. It's gonna be fantastic. So thank you guys for coming on the show. It's been freaking awesome. I'll see you guys later. As always, here we go, Steelers. Here we go.
Here we go.